Mr. Toploaded Gaming, the fucking garden gnome who thinks he's intelligent.
Hey everyone, Trevor at Toploaded Gaming. So we're going to talk about SmashJT for a second. Now, one thing you have to understand with commentary channels, consistency is everything. Being objective is everything. So, when I see a tweet like this, knowing some of the things that were said on the podcast when we had Smash on, I have no choice but to call this out. So, SmashJT in a tweet, he tweeted at Metal Jesus and said, if at Metal Jesus Rocks continues to collaborate with anyone who unapologetically issue false copyright strikes to silence criticism on the YouTube platform, I cannot in good faith continue to support his journey. These egregious acts are unacceptable. It demands a public response. Now that, to me, kind of sounds like some cancel culture bullshit. Especially when a few days ago, Smash, you were on the podcast with us, and we were all talking about how it was going to be unfair for unreasonable people to blame the Metal Jesus crew.
Like I had told you earlier in a private message, it doesn't seem like John Hancock has any concern for his peers' reputation, you know, when he does things. I think that all of the other people, you know, like Metal Jesus, Reggie, and John, and Kinsey, and all those other people, they have their own mind, they have their own thoughts, you know, they're independent, but come on, be real. You know, people are going to lot them together and ridicule them based on John's actions.
And that's not fair to them.
But then here you are a couple days later with this tweet doing that very thing. In my mind, we were saying that it was going to be unreasonable people that were doing that. Not you, not me. So I don't get this tweet. It sounds very cancel culture. And if I'm being 100% honest with you, the way you said that you used to be fake before you got this job, I kind of feel like maybe you still are being fake, because this, it's like you're abandoning you're abandoning your consistency, your morals right here, your ethics, to make this tweet when you're tied to the story, you're tethered to the story. So if Metal Jesus responds, of course he's going to have to say SmashJT a bunch of times. So it just seems like you're trying to get Metal Jesus to respond, so he has to bring your name up. I mean, that's honestly what it seems like. Because why would you say those other things then and then do this now? I mean, it's not consistent. I don't get it. And it's very cancel culture. It's very cancel culture. And strikes are absolutely a big deal, but they're not such a big deal that they bleed over to the other people that didn't have anything to do with it. I don't believe that Metal Jesus is responsible for what Hancock did. I'm staying consistent here from what I said on the podcast to now. Why didn't you call out Radical Reggie or Kinsey or John Riggs? Because they have smaller channels? It makes no sense to me, man. It makes no sense. The only thing that I can put together is that you want Metal Jesus to bring up your name. And that's it. And to me, that's pretty fake, especially if you're going to sell out your own principles to do so. So I feel like that's something you for sure crossed the line on. And then, as far as blocking people, I noticed a tweet back and forth between Eric and SmashJT where he had blocked someone. And, you know, you had said that in the past that you blocked people. And I always looked at it like, well, that's kind of odd. Because I don't really block people. I've been on this platform since 2006. And I've never really blocked people. the most recent thing to ever happen since I've been on this platform was I finally blocked one person, and that person was in all of my videos, everywhere. They were replying to every single comment, whatever, and I blocked them. But you know what? At the same time, I felt kind of bad about it, so I eventually unblocked them. Because I don't really block people. I don't really block people. You know, people can say whatever the fuck they want. You know? Maybe I'll mute people at a certain point. I'm not sure. I don't even really have anybody muted either, or shadow banned, or any of that bullshit. I just don't do it. I just don't do it. But, and the thing is people can come and say what they want. You know? Come say what you want. So, one thing that ends up coming out in these sets of tweets is a DM between him and Eric. And to be fair, I kind of knew about this situation, and I found it kind of odd, you know, but why would you appease, if you're a commentary channel, why would you appease to anyone? You can't really appease anyone. You have to be objective. Like you came and say on our show, we weren't safe from your criticism. You know, if we did something fucked up, you would absolutely call us out on it. So why would you appease anyone in the anti-e-begging community? And then what doesn't make sense about that is the way I engaged that community on the podcast, on the Over the Top podcast recently. For you to come and be a guest on that show, wouldn't you think that that would put a target on your back as well? Because none of those people would fucking come on, you know. So I don't really get it. I don't really get it. You know, like if people, I understand these people like dox and do this and do that or whatever, but like that's what they want to do. Fucking come at me. Come at me, bro. Like I don't give a flying fuck. So I'm not gonna appease anyone. That's just what the fuck I gotta do. Now lastly, I want to get into the shit with Rich. So I made a video discussing whether or not Hancock deserved a second chance based on Rich's video, his second video. Now the thing was, I wasn't really trying to shame Rich for making that video, you know, and it seems like in a lot of tweets that you're tweeting out towards Rich is like trying to shame him into covering it again, you know. And again, I kind of question your approach on that, because Rich ends up saying like, I'm not ever gonna give someone a second chance. And you know, how far is he away from deciding like it's just not worth helping anyone? It's just not worth helping anyone because look what it causes. And the thing is, dude, is we need these bigger channels to take up for the smaller channels when the shit hits the fan like this. When you have a bigger channel come along and you know, try and shut down criticism on a smaller channel, we need those bigger channels, you know, to pick up the slack and get the word out. And it just seems like you continually are biting the hand that feeds you. So that's another thing I don't get that you're doing right now. And in a lot of instances, it seems like you're just trying to keep the story alive so you can keep feeding off of it. You know? And the thing is we all of us, whoever titles their videos, whoever puts tags in their videos, they're doing whatever it is for views, whether it be for commentary, criticism, for discussion, for video games, for playing chess, whatever it is. If you make a title and you put tags in your videos, you're doing it for views, okay? But the difference is I'm not gonna sell out my principles for views. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be inconsistent for views. And that's the difference here that I think you've crossed the line in, where you have abandoned what you have shared as your past principles for views. That's the huge difference that I'm seeing. One last point I'm going to make on all this is all the people that are up in arms over this stuff, especially in the anti-e-begging community, especially in that community, and, you know, Smash yourself, why did no one make such a big deal out of Canadian Gamer striking Overthink Gaming? Why is that not such a big deal to everybody? Because I think it was. I think it showed, you know, that person was completely a fucking hypocrite. Completely. Trying to be morally just and calling out people or whatever, but then is false striking people. I mean, come on. So, I don't know. I'm against false copyright striking no matter who it's coming from. So, that's something to keep in mind, is especially with the anti-e-begging community, is that it seems like a bunch of rules for thee but not for me sort of fucking thing. It's a bunch of do what I say and not as I do type of fucking bullshit. And it deserved to be called out just as much as the strikes against you guys.